What's up? It's your coach again. Camera on me, thank you. And I'm going to give you guys a nice little tutorial here on, this is pretty much for the dubstep homies in particular, but any of you could get some sound design insight from this. It's a very abstract tactic, to be honest with you. I'm going to show you how to make the fart bass. The fart bass, sort of just like a very heavy, distorted, bassy sound. I'm sure you've heard it, something that sounds like it's distorting, but not quite. You're probably wondering, how the fuck do I do that? And I kind of covered this in a video I did earlier where I was explaining how I do my, just like making samples and doing sound design. I do use this technique a lot because I think it's very efficient for making cool, heavy sounds that have a lot of impact. So I'm going to show you kind of what I do in a quicker time span and also explain sort of the process behind it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to get maximal sub. That's my sub of choice. And it should work for this example. So let's just go ahead and get a simpler, and we'll keep it on classic mode. And then I'm going to go, I don't know where any of my files are. Maximal sub extra clean, and I'm choosing extra clean because I really want that peak right there to be considerably large. You'll see why in a minute. Now, I'm going to design a unique sound for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into Wavetable and make something in Wavetable. Before I even start touching any of the knobs or sliders in Wavetable, the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a beef, because I just won't be able to get a thick sound if I don't have the beef there. So let's add the beef. Pull this release up, push that up, turn the amp down a bit, and now let's make something cool. Make something cool with this, probably. The LFO, and maybe let's change this filter with this guy. That's kind of cool. Oscillator 1 position. Sounds cool, but I don't like how many harmonics there are in there. So let's find another one. Same thing. Let's go to Foreman. That's kind of cool. Kind of cool also. That's what I really fuck with. All right, cool. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually take a vocoder, put it in before the beef, set it to enhance, turn on modulator. This is sort of my process in just about every sound I do, because I just like the way that this changes the character. Let's boost the volume a bit. Vocoder tends to lower it. We can attack this depth. I'm sorry. We can adjust this depth and release knob for different sounds. And I'm going to do another beef for good measure, just to really squash that guy. Also, there's a bit of a peak. Just going to use stock limiter right there. It's barely coming through, but it's enough that I just want to contain it. Cool. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this low end. Probably around 150 will work for this. I would say 100 is the absolute lowest that you would ever want to go for this. And let's put down our MIDI note. Let's just go ahead and cut that out. Cool. Now, let's go down. Let me call this sub. Let's go and take this exact same note, put it here. It's too low. And this guy is not tuned correctly. I should do that. Oh. There you go. Now this device is tuned. Okay, so I have my sub here, and I have this sound. Doesn't sound terrible, but it doesn't really sound like anything special. So, here's what needs to happen. This sub needs to push against this sound really, 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 really hard and essentially slam it into a ceiling. In order for that to happen, we need to create a ceiling. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a G-Clip. G-Clip is a free plugin. I definitely recommend you grab it if you don't have it. Turn on 2x oversample for good measure, because why not? And we're going to leave everything else here exactly the same for right now. Now, we already noticed right off the gate something is happening. That clipping that we used to have is no longer present, because G-Clip is a hard clipper, and all of that is essentially aliasing straight back down. I think that's the right terminology. I might be mixing my shit up. I'm a bit tired today. So, basically, everything that's above 0 is getting cut off. So, what we need to do now is we need to press this sub up against this guy. How are we going to do that? We're going to get the utility, and we're going to just slowly turn it up. See how it sounds. Listen. But turn it up too much, you can tell that it just sounds like a big, fat, farty sub. But as I start to slow it down a little bit, I'm also going to go ahead and just change this a little bit, because this, that sounds better. Cool. And now let's also just add a little bit of sub delay here. Not much. That's perfectly fine. Cool. So that's where we're at now. Push a little harder, get a bit more subby sound out of it. Push a little less, you get a bit more of that sound. For the sake of this, I'm going to push it a little bit harder. Let's see how 9 sounds. Cool, that's not bad. Try a bit more. That sounds pretty good. Cool. All right, so this works. So now all that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a new audio track. I'm going to solo this group. And by the way, if you want some stereo or whatever in here, you could do that right now. For the sake of example, we'd get a bit of a different sound if we turned on some voices. So, oops, come on. Gives it a bit more of like a neuro feel. Always check your mono compatibility. Let's try. We'll do none right now, and we'll just add a stereoizer. Cool. Now I'm going to solo this group. Boom. This is the one that has the G-Clip. Solo this one. Don't need to, but enable resampling. Resampling right there. Arm the record. Oops. Cool. And there it is. So this is your new sound. And that's how you get that like really aggressive, farty sounding bass. And then from here, you know, you can honestly do whatever you want to it. Cut it up. Go. Whatever. Add another beef. Frequency shift it. Get some cool sounds that way. Revo code. You can kind of take the processing from there wherever you wanted to, but that's how you get the fart bass. Cool. Hope you learned something. I would encourage you to make whatever synths your heart desires. Go and fart. And yeah, your coach is gonna go make some chicken fries. See you later. Bye.